The colonial marines employ synthetics in various roles. The integer series are low-sapient combat models. Perhaps you've deployed with our platoons Alpha and Beta? High-functioning bishops and esters operate support equipment, analyze scientific anomalies, and provide medical care.
You found an issue of Ion Seegson? Dang. The company hasn't published that for like 30 years. A century ago, Seegson was real big, one of the interstellar corporations. They put their money into deep space platforms, O'Neill colonies, asteroid refineries, you name it. Then Weyland-Yutani made a bunch of breakthroughs in terraforming. Turning a planet habitable got a lot cheaper than assembling 1 million tons of orbital steel. By the 2140s, Seegson was on their way down. These days, they make cheap knockoffs of other people's stuff, like those working Josynths. I heard in the 70s they tried to colonize some planets in the Mid-Rim. Wonder what happened with that.
I don't much like what Hanukkah had to say. Weyland-Yutani ran Katanga like a fucking ant farm. Used androids to bring up animals from the moon, left them on the refinery for the Xenos, took the eggs back down to the lab. There's a queen aboard Katanga, laying those eggs. SOP says, poof, that's when you pull out and file an insurance claim. We'll deal with Katanga later. Right now, Colonel Ship wants us down on LV-895. Hanukkah says some Weyland-Yutani people disappeared before his group evac. Could be there's other survivors looking for rescue. You could get the details on the surface conditions from Lieutenant Ko. She'll be flying you and Herrera down.
I hate our squadron name. When I flew interceptors, the squadrons had decent names. Predators, gunslingers. Cracked Rooks is like, oh, I dropped my chess set. The UD-9C carries enough ordnance to take out a town, and it'll keep flying with half its ass blown off. But a Condor's not going to survive turns and burns against a real interceptor. In Atmo, all it can do is go in one direction real fast. Your best defense against Op-4 air superiority is to punch the throttle to the firewall, crank the ECM, and kiss your ass goodbye. Zero G's marginally better. The RCT blocks are placed wider than the old Cheyennes and Mohawks. Maneuvers real tight. I bet I could fly this piece of crap through any shipwreck you want without nicking the paint.
I was asked to summarize Dr. Honecker's debriefing for you. He was assigned to Palace Station, a Weyland-Yutani research facility on the surface of LV-895. The Palace Station team developed weapons from Xenomorph XX-121. In particular, they explored the effects of a mutagenic agent. Xenomorphs and other test subjects were loosed by a containment breach. The majority of the staff perished. Unclear. Small amounts were delivered by the company. The science team was not told its origin. They referred to it as pathogen. As biogenetics is not Dr. Honecker's specialty, he is unable to provide details. No, his degree is in archaeology. He claims he was lured here by the promise of access to alien artifacts. Pardon, to be clear, I refer to artifacts from a technologically advanced alien civilization, not xenomorphs. Given that humanity has never recorded conclusive evidence of a tool using alien civilization, Dr. Honecker was understandably intrigued. Dr. Honecker and some of his colleagues fled Palace Station in a shuttle. It launched on a pre-programmed course to Katanga. Unfortunately, 2 creatures stowed aboard. They killed one, and you met the other, the mutated xenomorph he called Monica. The doctor was the only survivor. You are familiar with the xenomorph reproductive process? It was gestated within a woman named Monica. Dr. Honecker seems unwilling to discuss it further. There was discord between the science team and Weyland-Yutani's manager, Administrator Bellows. In particular, Mr. Bellows ordered the use of human convicts to breed xenomorphs. Dr. Honecker doubtless hoped we had taken his employers into custody to face charges. Should you wish to review, I will keep the information on file for you. That is a synthetics from Weyland-Yutani and Hyperdyne Systems served the high-end market. Siegson Company had neither the technical nor industrial expertise to compete. Working Joes were assembled from inexpensive commercial electronics. In a time when disguised synthetics were misused to monitor or discipline human employees, Siegson marketed with the slogan, "You always know a working Joe." Their crude appearance was a selling point among those fearful of synthetic infiltration.
If you're here to move ordnance, there's a power loader in the back. If you're not, don't bother me. Our landing zone's a couple of clicks from Pala Station, at the base of the mountains to the west. You won't need any special gear. The environment is close enough to Earth. There's native life, but you probably won't have to worry about it. The Xenos that Honecker's idiot employers let loose are a bigger threat. Pala's the source of the Xeno outbreak. I had enough bugs on my canopy in Katanga's hangar, thanks. Can't believe Herrera wouldn't let me fire missiles. You'd have ducked. Esther says there's tunnels in the mountains near our LZ. Colonel Ship thinks it's the direction any survivors would run, and the commissars agree with her. Well, around Pala Station, the air's about Earth normal. Pressure 908 millibars. Little heavier on CO2. No obvious toxins or allergens. Take the regulation antihistamines anyway. If you end up climbing a mountain, you'll have a problem. Low-lying areas have thick atmo, but it attenuates fast. A lot like Mars after we terraformed it. Gravity is 0.92. That's odd. But it means you won't notice any difference from shipboard artificial grav. The diameter of LV-895 is just under 9,000 clicks, 3/4 the size of Earth. That's small, but 92% Earth's gravity doesn't add up. To get that gravity, the moon would need to be made of something stupid, like 50% iron or full of radioactives. Something real dense, you know? But our readings say conventional rock mix. Only rumors leaking out of Honecker's debrief. Something about big color-changing cats. According to Weyland-Yutani's officially filed survey data, we're orbiting a barren rock. No life. Prebiotic atmo. You can look out a porthole and see that's wrong. Or a lie. A shirt-sleeves habitable world, no terraforming needed. Low investment, high return. Maybe they didn't declare it to avoid competition. Just remember, Weyland managers tend to store profit margins and promotion tracks where their brains should be. If you run into any, watch your back.
Marines, we're heading down to LV-895. The Weyland-Yutani surface lab was overrun by Xenos, but there may be survivors. The closest shelter is the mountain caves to the west. You'll rappel into the caverns for search and rescue.
on passive sensors. One fuckface with an ARM down there would ruin our day.
Check your fire. Remember, we're looking for friendlies. This isn't a cave. It's block construction. A company bunker, maybe. Got a signal. Fox! If Xenos spread this far from Pala Station, they'll be after any survivors. Get moving. Lot of Wayland shit down here. Some kind of auxiliary base, fallback position.